social proof is one of the most important elements of high converting e-commerce store. That's why in this video I'm gonna show you how to collect a ton of 5-star owner reviews. So here's the tutorial. We'll be using something called NPS, which is Net Promoter Score. And Net Promoter Score, if you're wondering, is a market research metric that is based on a single survey question asking respondents to rate the likelihood that they would recommend a product, company, or a service to a friend or colleague. Now, what does it mean and why do you need it? So first of all, you need it because instead of collecting reviews from all your customers, you want to collect them only from happy customers. There will always be someone who is not unsatisfied, not happy, and they probably won't give you 5-star review, they're gonna give you 1-star review, which is gonna destroy your reputation. I mean, don't mean destroy, but it'll affect it definitely. If someone sees 1-star reviews, they're probably less likely to buy from you. And another reason is that you'll be able to collect feedback from these people who are not satisfied with their purchase. Essentially, the way it works is that after someone buys from you, you're asking them a question: hey, we appreciate you buying from us, how would you rate us from 1 to 10? Then they select the answer, and then you either send them to leave a review, or you send them to a Google Forms feedback or any other platform that you're using, like Typeform or whatever, for collecting feedback from not entirely satisfied customers. Then you can also follow up, which I'm going to show you how to do, with another email to either leave a review or fill out the feedback form. And I'm going to show you how to do all of that in Klaviyo, so you don't need to use some third-party software. You can just use Klaviyo for that, and what's even better is that you can build segments based off the score someone gave you. So if they gave you 8, 9 or 10, they're probably more likely to purchase from you again, they're probably more likely to buy other your products, or they're more likely to take part in your referral program or loyalty program, right? So I'm gonna show you how to do all of that, starting from scratch. So first of all, you need to head to flows, and you can make this a separate flow, even though I like to have it just like the last step of the post-purchase flow, right? So let me quickly delete that, both paths. Once again, if you have like new customer thank you path and repeat customer thank you path, you would have these the same. Overall, for this flow, I would suggest you don't send it quicker than like 20 or 30 days after someone has placed an order, mainly because first of all, you want them to use the product after you gave them the instructions in the post-purchase flow. And if you don't know what I mean and you want to have high converting post-purchase flow, check out my other video where I cover the exact structure on how to set it up. But you want to make sure that they receive the product. Otherwise, if they didn't receive it, you're more likely gonna get complaints like, hey, why you're asking me about my feedback if I didn't even touch the product, it didn't come yet, I didn't receive it. That's why you want to make it at least 20 to 30 days. Usually I would probably make it like 30 days just to be safe. And obviously I'm putting it as 30 because this email has no time delay, but if you have a longer flow, usually this delay is gonna be like 5 or 10 days after the last email from your post-purchase flow. Right, so this is how you set it up. In terms of the email itself, it's gonna be pretty simple. You click on this setup email. You don't want to have smart sending for that. You can obviously turn on UTM and so on. For the subject line, you could it's gonna be a plain text email, but with a logo, like a branded plain text email. It's not gonna be entirely plain text because you couldn't use the function I'm gonna show you. You need to have the actual builder or template for Klaviyo. Subject line could be something like your feedback, or review your order, anything like that, or action required, rate your experience with, and you can either use product name, right? So product, brand, anything like that. You can just, be strategic with that, creative, come up with something cool. Then for the template, you want to select one, or actually we can just go create blank template. That's gonna be faster, I think. I hate Klaviyo templates. They're not terrible, but I just prefer doing it on my own. First of all, get rid of the social links. Then you want to make sure that you have everything in one section. Okay, it's not gonna let me do that. But if you don't have all the elements in one section, it's gonna increase your email size, right? For example, right now it's 25, and I guess if we delete it, it's gonna make it 20 or something like that. Yeah, you can see like decreased email size by just having the same content essentially, but moving it into one section. So it's like a small tip or sauce for you. Then for the logo or header bar, actually you can just even delete this, make it image, select from library. I would select the logo. If you don't want to fill it, we can just make it like like 250 or whatever, height would be like 100 for example. Okay, never mind, like it's not looking the greatest, right? You can just add some padding, possibly something like that, maybe make it even like that, right? Just to make it smaller, like we don't really need to make it super big. We can make it actually 150, and that would be fine. First of all, don't overcomplicate it. I'm probably going too much into this. It's not that important. You just want to make sure that your logo can be seen and like by anyone. Okay, then you just type in text, okay, and then you have the first name syntax there. I mean, obviously these are your customers, so most likely you're gonna have their name since they've placed an order and gave you their data, but you still always wanna have default syntax. Hey there, and I'm not gonna write the entire email obviously, but along with it would be something along the lines of, we appreciate you being the part of brand. We hope you love your product. We value your input, and you just keep typing essentially the last part, which is most important. We value your input, and you want to end it with something like please or rate us 1 to 10. You end the email like that. Again, just make it a little bit longer. It doesn't have to be like that. I'm gonna show you a screenshot of example of the email because I don't have it right now. So it's gonna pop up somewhere on the screen of the actual email that we use. Okay, so then you have the first part of the copy, and then how do you do this part, which is how do you make people click inside the email to give you property, essentially give you data about their experience. So you go to blocks, you select something called header bar, and you drop it here below rate as 110. Then for desktop layout, you change from logo stacked to links and buttons only. Okay, now you can't see anything, but just bear with me. You can do the same for mobile, and then you have two options. First one is gonna be add link, second one is gonna be add image. So to show you in general the idea behind this, I'm just gonna click add link. And then you type in one, I mean where you have a text, or initially it says link text, right? You type in one, make sure you have a background color, unless your font is a different color, but overall I suggest you have some kind of background color, just to make sure it's standing out. And then for background color, obviously you want to select it to be branded, right? I mean the color to be branded. You can play with the font a little bit, make it bigger, smaller, like there are a lot of design settings that you can do. But obviously I'm not gonna double too much in it because the video is like 1 hour long. But yeah, you build the link, and then this text one is the rating someone's gonna be able to click. Right now you don't have any link address, so if they tap one, nothing is gonna happen, but you have something like raw syntax, and I'm gonna include it in the video description or in the pinned comment, so you can just copy and use it. But you can also type in Klaviyo update property syntax, I believe, and it should show up as first or second link. So essentially, let me explain this syntax, what it does. First of all, you can use this entire syntax instead of a link, because firstly, what it's gonna do? It says update property link. It says update, but in reality it's gonna create property. What kind of property? This one. You can select it, right? In our case, the property that's gonna be created is NPS rating. Now, you're also gonna create profile property value. What is profile property value? In our case, it's gonna be the rating that someone gives us. So it could be 1, it could be 8, it could be 2, doesn't really matter. And then you have a link. What is link? Well, that's a link to Google Forms or a link to the place where someone can leave a review. Now, this is very important because you don't need to send them to your website if you don't want to. We have some clients that are collecting feedback on their Facebook profile. Probably not ideal, but if you don't have an option to leave a review on your website, you can do it. Some of our clients are also using Trustpilot, so you can redirect someone to Trustpilot. With Trustpilot, remember, you cannot incentivize someone to leave a review, otherwise you're gonna get flagged or something, and they will tell you to change it. So don't incentivize people in this email in general. I mean, even if you're collecting it on your website, you don't necessarily need to incentivize them. You're gonna see that the email alone is gonna give you good reviews, because if someone is happy with the product, with the experience, and it helped them solve the problem or make a change, they're gonna leave a review. Like if I go to a restaurant and I love the food, I love the experience, the dinner, I'm gonna leave 5-star review, and they don't need to incentivize me. I'm just so happy about the experience that I want them to benefit from that as well and get more customers because I'm happy, right? So once again, you can add incentive if you're not sending them to Trustpilot, but I don't recommend you do it because you're just gonna be shredding your margins. And if someone is unhappy, they're gonna give you 1. If you give them 10% of their next purchase, they don't care. They hate your brand, like respectively. But if they rated you as 1, they're not gonna recommend you to anyone. They're not gonna buy from you again because they're unhappy, right? And if someone is happy and they rated you 8, 9 or 10, they're more likely still gonna buy from you, and if not, you can have multiple flows or campaigns that push discount codes to these people, since you're gonna be able to segment them after you complete all of that. Okay, so now live example, I'm gonna copy this entire raw syntax, and honestly you can change it here, but I don't like playing with that in the Klaviyo field just because it's too small for me, but let's still do it. So we would call it NPS rating, right? And then profile property, just make sure that you're making it inside the parentheses. So it's gonna be 1, since the text is 1 as well. Then for link, let's say it was a Google Forms link or type from Google Form, just an example, right? And that's it. Right now, if someone would click on that, they would first of all create property, and then they would, okay, so something is not right. Once again, it would have something to do with the parenthesis or lack of link. Let me just quickly do google.com. No, so probably they just need an actual link, because yeah, like other than that, this property would be fine, because honestly, I've been just using it right here. Let me just quickly add an actual link. Okay, yeah, so sometimes it's a little bit tricky like that. Most likely, I just put some parenthesis wrong. Yeah, okay, so there was just something wrong with this part, right? Where I just entered it wrong, because once again the Klaviyo editor isn't the greatest. But once again, you can just take this thing, paste it into the Google Doc, and right now I'm just gonna do it live with you. So you just essentially type in NPS. It can be just NPS or NPS rating. Then for profile property value, type in 1, and then for link, you just do Google Forms, for example, right? You copy the entire thing. Once again, you paste it here, and it should be adding the link after someone clicks it. Okay, so it's missing something once again. Honestly, I don't know what. Okay, so as you can see, it works, right? If someone clicks on that, it's gonna be a placeholder. So you're gonna know that it works fine if you're gonna click on this rating and you're gonna see this placeholder. You're also in the preview of the email, you're not gonna see this yellow message that we had before, and I have really no idea why this link doesn't work, since essentially it's the exact same thing. Let me just quickly paste it once again to see what's wrong. But yeah, sometimes it's really tricky. You also need to use only English letters, like you can do, for example, Polish letters or anything like that. Yeah, so once again, if you see this message, then it means that something is wrong with the variable. In this case, I'm trying to find what's wrong, and I really have no idea, because it's the exact same thing as here. Okay, okay, I know what's wrong. That's also like a lesson for you, because this thing is not the same as this thing. I mean, just look, I'm gonna copy it and paste it here, right? And you're gonna see that suddenly it's just gonna work out. Because probably I just copied, pasted the property from the website or something. Someone had a mistake in their own like syntax. I think I just took it from the forum, that's why. But look, previously, as you can see, it was showing a mistake, right? Like message displayed, and then you click and it shows error. But right now I paste it and it's gonna work. Just look at that, it's like magic. So once again, it is tricky, because you can see like this is the small thing where the difference was barely noticeable, but this is why it didn't work. So if it doesn't work, you can always connect Klaviyo support, but I always recommend you copy paste this syntax, which is gonna be once again in the comments, and you're gonna use it and it's gonna be fine. Okay, so essentially then do the same thing for every single rating. So you're gonna add link to, I like to copy this property from the previous link just to make sure it works fine, and then you just change the rating to 2. Just make sure you're not deleting any part, because then you're gonna have a little bit more work to do, and then obviously turn on the background, make it the same color, and so on and so on, and you're gonna do it 1 to 10. Okay, so there you go. I just essentially was adding every single link one by one. One thing I have changed is that for people who are rating you as 8 or above, which is 8, 9 or 10, we're gonna change the link. So the link wouldn't be Google Forms link anymore, right? It would be review request link, either your page or Trustpilot or anything like that. It requires obviously a lot of clicking, but you know, you just need to do it. And same goes for 8, 9, 10, right? Where you have review request link. Now, once that is done, make sure you click on done. Then obviously you wanna end the email with something like that, right? Like once again, it's a very rough framework. Once we have this entire email, you click on preview and test to make sure that you don't have any mistakes. Once again, everything is looking fine. And yeah, someone clicks on that, you're gonna rate you. Same goes for mobile. You can play with the design a little bit, maybe have 2 rows. So first row would be from 1 to 5, and the other one would be from 6 to 10. You want to adjust it, obviously. Another important thing is that you can also make these more customized. Because right now, as you saw, I was adding link every single time, right? But you can also add an image, and you can, for example, design this part, which is like this block for rating, wherever, in Figma, in Canva, in Photoshop, in Adobe XD, doesn't matter. And you can have this custom. Like for one client, we had like a paw. They were like a pet brand, so we had a dog's paw, and then inside this paw we had the rating, which is looking better. I don't have any example right now, but you can upload this, and essentially you would do it the same way. So for alt text, you would also have like one, for example, and link address is the exact same, right? So it would be one, and then Google Forms link, essentially. So you can really make it way more customized. You just paste, once again, click on add image instead of add link. Okay, so this is how we create this flow, and now I'm gonna show you how to add follow-ups for them to this flow. So if someone rates you 8, 9 or 10, how to add a follow-up email to make sure that you follow up with them to get a review, and how you can create segments based on the score. So I'm gonna exit from the flow builder. I'm gonna click down, we're gonna head to Klaviyo and profiles. So you can select your own profile. Once again, this is like a demo account, so I have only one profile, but you go to this profile, and an important thing is that you add a custom property. Since you don't have any properties, if we were to go to the actual flow and do a conditional split based on what someone rated us, if it was 9, 10 or whatever, we wouldn't be able to do it, right? Like once again, we are creating property NPS rating, right? And if you go to conditional split, properties about someone, you're gonna see it doesn't show up. So if you want it to show up, and why you want it to show up is, first of all, because if the first person goes through the flow, you're not gonna follow up with them. That's why you can do it like create it in advance and then have the split already set and ready to go. So you choose random profile. I would suggest choosing your own, so there's like no misunderstanding if someone purchases from you one day. But yeah, just have a like draft profile or whatever, and then you click on add custom property. Property name is something we're gonna copy from here, right? So this would be the part profile property, but you just copy the actual property that you input into the email and you paste it here, right? Don't worry if it doesn't show up on the list. And for value, I would suggest you add your split. So if you want people who rated you 8, 9 or 10 to give you a review, I would make it 8. If you want it to be 7, 8, 9 or 10, it would be 7. For the purpose of the video, let's make it 8. So we assume that if someone rated you or their experience with you is 8, 9 or 10, they're gonna give you the review, or you're gonna be sending them to the review link. Then you just click on add the profile property. As you can see, it was successfully created. You just go to flows, create the same flow where you created the initial email. Okay, you scroll down, and then if you go to conditional split, properties about someone, and you type in NPS rating, it is gonna show up. We don't wanna do equals. If it's at least 8, it means equal, right, to 8 as well. So if it's 8, 9 or 10, then someone is gonna rate you the review. And then it's pretty simple, just add 2 emails where you don't need to have any custom content, or you don't need this bar that I was building with you, like this one, because you can just have a regular email. I suggest it be a plain text email, but then once again, remember about the split. So the rating is at least 8, so 8, 9 or 10, path yes. This one would be review request, and this one would be Google Forms feedback, right? As simple as that. And this way you have, once again, a setup or infrastructure where you can collect feedback from people. So before they go to the website and give you bad review, you're gonna ask them what their experience. If it was bad, you're collecting feedback. So we are gathering data as to how you can improve, what you can make better. Maybe that's customer support, maybe that's faster shipping, maybe that's something else. But if someone was happy, they're gonna leave a review, and it's gonna be definitely 5-star review. Now, one last thing I wanted to show you is that you can actually create segments based off the NPS score. So you just do it in a very simple way. You just go to create segment, definition, properties about someone, NPS rating, and then equals 8. You can have 10 segments. So then you would have everyone who rated you 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. But you can also have like 3 segments, which is usually something we do. People are completely not satisfied. So the ones that rated you 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, people somewhat satisfied, people who rated you from 4 to 7, and then brand promoters, essentially people who love you, would be someone who rated you at least 8 out of 10. So yeah, this is exactly how you do it, how you use the NPS infrastructure. Once again, you can do all of this in Klaviyo, which is great. because you don't need any third-party software, which also they tend to be pretty expensive, and you can just utilize that. So yeah, this is exactly how you do it, why you need it, and if you want my team and I to implement this for you, along with some other flows and campaigns just to maximize your email revenue, you can book a call with me using the link in the video description down below. But if not, you can check out this case study where I show you how this brand made over $1 million in sales in just 5 months. Thank you for watching, see you in the next one, cheers!